We are absolutely in sympathy and empathy and understand the concerns that persons have about our nationals overseas and also that being experienced by our nationals overseas. And it's true that there are no easy choices in these circumstances. There are only the best possible decisions with the public health of Jamaica in mind. In these circumstances, I know that the public has been broadly debating the 43 crew workers on the Marella Discovery 2 who are now docked in Southampton in UK, along with approximately, it's a group of approximately 90 cruise workers on about 6 ships that are docked in that port at this point in time. I want to assure you that we are in touch with all our stakeholders, including the owners of the cruise line, about arrangements to bring those 43 workers home, as well as an additional 30 that have been identified as non-essential crew, which they therefore would not require to keep the mechanics and of the essential services of the ship together and it functioning. So we have decided as a government that we will engage with the owners of the line to bring those persons home. This does, however, require the cruise line to undertake their obligations under the Maritime Labour Conventions, which guide not only Jamaica, but they guide the Bahamas, to which the Marella Discovery 2 is registered. And as signatory countries, we expect international law to be adhered to. We regretfully have not been in direct touch with the workers. We've been speaking with the organization, and you must understand that with thousands of workers overseas, it would be a difficult thing for us to manage as a government, direct and individual communication. So to try to ensure that we have the appropriate processes in place, clear and factual information at all times, our approach has been to liaise with the owners of the cruise lines. And just to give you a sense of where we are in terms of understanding where our Jamaicans are, because I feel sometimes that there's a sense that we have one small cohesive body of persons in a specific location, and this is not the case. We have 322 Jamaicans across 70 ships on one cruise line. We have 867 crew members on one cruise line across a number of ships, which we are seeking to confirm. We have 90 crew members on one line across 6 ships. We have 586 on another cruise line across 9 ships, and we have 128 across 4 ships, again in varying locations at sea, at different ports across the globe. So from a logistical perspective, from a communication perspective, and from a sheer capacity perspective, this is a hugely complex matter to consider in terms of repatriation. I know that there are references often to some countries sending planes for their citizens. Regretfully, Jamaica is not at an economic state and a state of airlift capacity to do this, and we're not alone. I want to also add that we have been collating information about our non-cruise workers across the world. And at this point in time, we have in one cohort close to 350 persons identified who are seeking assistance across 30 countries. And that's not counting the hundreds in the US that are engaged directly with our embassy, our embassy and our consulates in New York and Miami. So again, we engage as much as we can, we provide support as much as we can, and we seek the best solutions as a government with capacity issues which with changing circumstances, because of course persons would recognize that even when we started to discuss the matter of controlled re-entry of our nationals overseas, we did not have yet the spike of the capacity that we have discussed today. We did not have the outbreak of more than 100 persons have been added to the list since then. And this means that there's increased capacity constraints on our health workers, on the quarantine locations that we may have been seeking to identify, as well as, of course, the general considerations of how they will be taken best care of when they return. So again, these are not easy issues, no easy choices, only the best possible decisions that can be made in our best interests as a country as a whole. We thank you for your patience, we thank you for your understanding, and we will be here to welcome you home as soon as we have the appropriate arrangements and capacity in place.